take them chains off. Get you a king who's gonna lead you and get them lanes off. Yahoo, waking up his people, rap his name off. Keep these commandments now, it's time to get that shame off. That devil, he's still a liar, I turn my fame on. Encourage you in water, we get on the same song. The battle one, he just commanded us to hang on. My natural fit, it can't help it, I want the pain gone. We cry, the river is flooding, or turn the drain on. That type of stress to the body is just a prey on. For so long, for so long, so long. For so long, been suffering for so long. For so long, for so long, yeah, so long, so
long. Our people been suffering for so long. That's why we gotta approach them with meekness, with humbleness, with loveliness. Come to them as they are, so they can know who they are, and we can give them the influence, the proper influence, so they can become who the Father wants them to become. Shalom, rebirth.
Method or strategy to offset some of the events or repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently. We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we are dealing in hate.
Y'all all right? Yes, sir. Now I need y'all to pay attention. This is the fall. What mind are we trying to get back? So you can't take a Western mind and try to understand an Eastern book. What do I mean by that? Somebody help me explain. Come on, talk to me. Y'all been listening a long time. What do I mean when I say you can't take a Western mind to understand the Eastern book? Right. Right.
You don't have here this time. We have the same concept.
Right. So let me give you an example of a American idiom. It's raining cats and dogs. What do that mean? I gotta go to the plantation Monday. What do that mean? Now, what if somebody 20 years from now was studying America and they heard me say I got to go to the plantation, right? In their mind, they'll be thinking, was it slavery back then? Cats and dogs really come from the sky? Why? Because they studied the history, but they didn't study the culture, right? How we relate to each other, things that in our age make sense. So a lot of times we go to the scriptures and look at them the same way. We'll read some verbatim and think that's what it's saying when it's an actual idiom amongst the culture that they will understand it. The Eastern mind and the Western mind is totally different. This book comes from the Eastern world, what we would consider Northeast Africa or that Mesopotamia, that what some people would consider, in Israel. So the whole thought process is different than our thought process. Number one, we have presidents and they have kings. A president, you get to vote what you want to do. You get to vote him in. A king, he inherited the throne and whatever he say, that's it. You see what I'm saying? Now, I need everybody to pay attention. I will do this message over on Tuesday for those, we got a small space. The babies gonna be the babies. We'll try to work with them. All right, so we see here, Rediscovering Genesis 3 from the ancient biblical understanding of the fall. What do we know about the fall?
Reality of mankind.
Okay, change the reality of mankind. MJ? Not the fall season, son. I'm talking about when Adam and Eve messed up. What do you know about that when Adam and Eve messed up? Huh? When Adam and Eve messed up, what happened? That's a good point. We're going to deal with that next week. They weren't able to come to the garden again. That was real good. Anybody else? What we know about the fall? Wrongful sin. Anybody else? Fracture the relationship between man and woman. That's good. Anybody else? Fall and devil. Man who? I'll tell you this. We're going to deal with that next. Why would there need to be a tree of life in the midst of the garden if Adam was immortal? Huh? Why would an immortal creature need something new?
So he can stay immortal.
Huh?
So he can stay immortal.
Okay, so he can stay immortal. Huh? So an immortal being can do something to lose mortality. Okay. What you say? Was it the source of what? Y'all know Sharonda to be getting A+ right. That's good. We're gonna see. What you got? Okay. That's what, yep, that's it. Hey, big yep, you know, that's what everybody said. You're right, son. That'll work. All right, so let's move. All right, everybody pay attention now. We're going to look at everything. This is the curse, the fall, what happened after. Genesis 3 and verse 14. And Jehovah said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. So that'll make you think it's talking about something natural, a natural snake. So what have we been taught? That the snake messed up, and now this is why all snakes crawl on their belly. Snake lost their legs. Snake used to walk around like that right there. But because the snake, talking snake talked, he lost his ability to walk. Now he on his belly. Right. But we saw in the last teaching what beast mean and what cattle mean, right? So now we're going to look at from a Hebrew perspective, what does it mean that he was cursed above all beasts and cattle of the field? Let's keep going. Revelation 13. Now let's look at the word beast. Because you got to look into the scriptures and see how it makes sense. You got to make sense of it. Right? So let's look at other terminology of the word beast. Revelation 13. I stood up on the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out the sea. Uh-oh. I seen an animal. This animal had 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horns 10 crowns. And upon his heads the name of what? The name of what? Let me make sure y'all got it. Revelation 13. Y'all got it? And the what? Which I saw like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth was the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him power, and his seat gave great authority. So this beast had great authority now. Verse 3. I saw one of their heads, and it was wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So this is an animal that all the world is wondering after. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave them power unto the beast. How many of us seen the dragon that's being worshipped? Is it a real fire-breathing dragon out here being worshipped? So the scriptures teach, it talks in idioms in a way, in a type of literacy where you can understand. Everything you can't look just at tangible things. You got to look equal. And the beast said, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? There was given unto him a mouth that speaketh great blasphemy. Now this beast, this animal talking. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. This beast, or this cattle, opened up his mouth with blasphemy against the Most High. Now what is he talking about? How's the beast and who is liable to the beast? Who is able and talking blasphemy? What would be considered a beast nowadays? Y'all get out the spirit, get out. Natural. What's a natural beast? A bear, a lion, a tiger. Right, black man, you right. A whole jaguar, a gorilla. Oh, you said something? Hey, what you say?
I heard that it's talking about the government system.
That's what it's talking about, exactly. But we talking about, if we take this from the natural life, we just took all of Genesis. Well, we mess up, and we out here thinking that a beast out here making war with somebody and speaking blasphemy. So we see how the scriptures talk to us. You see what I'm saying? All right? And that was given unto him speaking great blasphemies and opening his mouth against the Most High, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and that dwell in heaven. So we know this is actually talking about it. If we take this from the natural life, we just call it a system. Right? So why do we get so natural when it comes to Genesis? That's what we was what? Them the glasses they gave us. And we saw through their glasses. Let's keep it going, y'all know I got to prove stuff. Daniel 7. Spoke, Daniel 7 verse 2. Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision at night, behold, 4 winds of heaven that strove upon the great sea, and 4 great what? Came up from the sea, diverse from one another. The great beasts which are 4 are what?
14.
Are what?
14.
Are what?
14.
Which shall arise out of where?
The earth.
But the saints of the Most High shall do what?
Take the kingdom.
I like how you said that. The saints shall do what?
Take the kingdom.
And possess what?
The kingdom forever.
And what?
Even forever.
And what?
Even forever.
Ever. Verse 19. Then I will know the truth for the 4th beast, which is diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were like iron, and nails was like brass, and devoured and broke in pieces, and snapped the residue with his feet, and the 10 horns that was in his head, and all the others would stand up before them, 3 fell, even that horn of that eyes and the mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stand out than his fellows. Thus said he, the 4th beast shall be the 4th what?
Kingdom.
The 4th beast shall be the 4th what?
Kingdom.
All right, so we see that everywhere that it say beast ain't necessarily talking about an actual animal. We got it. Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3. Sometimes when it talks about beasts, it's talking about something from heaven. But in this term, it was talking about the serpent, which was Hasatan, which was the shiny one, which was in Ezekiel 28, which was in Isaiah 14. And it spoke of that as a beast. Ezekiel 3, I want you to see how the Bible can be considered man a beast. You got to watch how it speaks to you. Ezekiel 3, verse 18. I said in my heart with regard to the children of man, that God has tested them, that they may see that they themselves are what?
But peace.
That they see that they themselves are what?
But peace.
So we got to see the terminology of what it's speaking of. We got it?
Yeah.
Spoke of that as a beast. Y'all pay attention. I'm going Ezekiel 3. You see how the Bible can be considered. Verse 14. And Yahuwah said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every what?
Beast.
But we know beasts can be represent kingdom.
Yeah.
So thou art cursed above every kingdom.
Yeah.
I showed you before that it was principalities in the garden. We're going to see it again today. And with the principalities and their areas of their rule, right? Of every beast of the field, upon thy belly shall thou go, and dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life. So this is where the snake lost his feet. And now snakes go on their belly now. Or was it saying something else? So what do you mean?
Given the characteristics of a serpent.
Given the characteristics of a serpent, but then what fell on his belly then?
The nation.
Yeah,
He fell from the glory that the Most High gave.
Come on, man. Say it again.
He fell from the glory that the Most High gave.
He fell from the glory because we know the serpent was who? Which was the shining what?
Star.
That did what?
Cover the Most High. Oh, fail.
Right. But upon his belly shall thou go, and dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life. When you are handling a snake, and it gave the characteristics, they keep a snake being what upright position when it's finna strike. And if you represent a snake as an army, that's an upright army finna come against you, finna strike. But if another kingdom come and pounce on that army, then it did what? They done fell on their belly and they eating up the dust. You know the song? Another one bites the dust. What? Another one bites. What are we saying? All right. I'll make it real plain. You spent all your life trying to get this one man. This man came and wooed you because you wanted him. He had nice muscles. He was dark skinned if you like him dark, light skinned if you like him light. It was everything you want. Voice was deep if you like deep voices. My voice was high if you like high voices. But he had the green eyes if you like the green eyes. He was everything you want. And then he told you, you all I need to survive. He's like, oh child, hey, I'm all he needs to survive, child. That's what he told me. Man, you find out he got 3 other women over here. He told the same thing. What happened? Another one did what? Another one done failed. He done conquered another woman and got her in a what? Humiliating position, where she's down as low as the dust from which she came from. Don't reminisce now. Come back. Some of y'all went somewhere. Come back. Finna get mad all over again. Come back. It wasn't your husband. Don't go home and treat him bad now. It wasn't him. His name is Jim. That was Tim. Well, watch this. Now let's see in the scripture how it relates to a kingdom or a person falling. 1 Samuel 2:8. He raised up the poor out of the what? And lifted up the beggar from the dunghill to set them among the princes and make them to inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Most High, and he has set the world upon them. So he raises the poor where? So to be dropped down to the dust is to say that you failed. But to be raised out of the dust is to say what? You have risen, you have been elevated. Yeah. So the dust shows you, if you're dropping down to it, that means your demise then came. You'd have been kicked or you'd have been conquered. But if you're arising and shine, that means you're coming out of a what? A low place to a what? Let's keep going. 1 Kings 16:2. For as much as I have exalted thee out of what? Out of the what? Out of the what? And made thee to be what? Over who? My people. So now I have took somebody from a fallen state out of the dust and raised them up to be a prince. But what's the difference when you was a prince and you kicked down to be what? The dust. Okay, that. 2 Kings 13:7. Neither did he leave the people to Joahaz, but 50 horses of men, and 10 chariots, and 10,000 footmen. For the king of Syria had destroyed them and had made them like what? The dust. Another king came in and did what? Destroyed them and made them like what? Dust. By what? Threshing. So we seeing this. Yeah. Job 30:19. He have cast me into the mire, and I have become like what? Dust. And what? Ashes. So we seeing what this is saying, right? Let's look at the falls and go back to Genesis. Y'all following? Yes. Is this hard to understand? Let me know. All right, so we got Genesis 3 talking about going up on your belly, and thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Ezekiel 28, verse 16. I'm going to jump to the highlighted areas for time. Ezekiel 28 and 16. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of Elohim. So this same being is going back to its original cast. He said, I will cast thee out of the mountain or the government or the divine counsel of the Most High, and will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Thy heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom because of thy brightness. I have cast thee to the what?
Ground.
I have cast thee to the what?
Ground.
So how we think he losing legs right here? Isaiah 14. I will ascend. Man, it's hot in here. Can I get some napkins or something? Isaiah 14 and 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like who?
The Most High.
Yet thou shalt be what?
Brought down.
To what?
Hell.
To what?
Hell.
So this is showing you that the casting down that happened here was echoed through here. But we've been given the wrong glasses now. We think a snake sliding on the ground now. And there was terminology and Hebrew idioms to let us know that what was upright has now been cast down to be up on his belly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You ever watch wrestling? You pick somebody up and slam them on their belly and give them that Hulk Hogan leg, drop on them. They're in a what? Docile position. But the scripture prophesied that this would be the life of the serpent, that it would be cast down and upon his belly. He'll be in constant humiliation. We see that.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Now, y'all pay attention. Pay attention. This is going to show you where the original hate was at. And why we are hated so much. It ain't because you're black. They told you you was black. We the children here, you can't go in the ancient world and find no nation named the black nation. That has the black language. That has the black customs.
Yeah.
We didn't learn colorism until we came over here. They set up a scale of black, white, red, and yellow to make the white to be at the supreme level and the black to be at the bottom. You see what we're saying?
Yes, sir.
Now watch this. This is why, because you know what I had to understand? I was like, man, this is not no natural hate. This hate here don't make no sense. Because like, if it was, when you really think about it, all the people that hated should have died with the slave masters. This thing is spiritual that go throughout the generations. Ain't no way in the world you gonna burn, kill, castrate somebody and do all that type of stuff just because they black.
Come on.
But it's something inside of them that have enmity against you, that know who you really are. That testify that you are the children of Israel or the children of the covenant.
Hallelujah.
So something in them gonna hate you and put a knee on your neck until you die. And then while you die, still hold that knee on your neck while you dead.
Yeah.
That's something unnatural. But it's enmity that started from the beginning. It was an ancient spirit that was in him pressing down on that. Yeah. The spirit was in the man. Both of them is a devil. The man and the spirit. I don't get just the credence to the spirit. You got to be a demon to do that.
Yeah.
I would put enmity between you and the woman. Let's read Genesis 3 real quick. Somebody get that. Go down, because I ain't put the verse right there.
What verse you want?
What verse 3 say?
But of the fruit of the tree.
Nah, we want to go further
Round
down.
15.
Round 15?
Yep.
All right, yeah. Well, read 13 first.
All right. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the woman, What is this that you have done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle.
So the serpent got his curse. All right, keep going.
and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life.
So he is an already defeated being that know what his demise is going to be. But yet he's trying to deceive you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now watch Eve curse.
Yeah.
Watch what it says. Because in each one of these disobedience, oh, that's my tools. Brother Joe, can you make sure? They're not all my tools. I know that was my tools. Let's go. I just know it. That's what they sound like. It hurt me a little bit. But it says to the woman, now watch what it says. To the woman, I'm going to do what?
Put enmity.
I'm going to put what?
Enmity.
I'm going to put what?
Enmity.
Between what?
You and the woman.
Why?
Because
Keep going.
And between your offspring and her offspring.
So, I'm going to put hatred and hostility between you and the woman. Between what?
Her offspring and your offspring.
What does that mean?
Basically, your children gonna hate her children. And her
Your children gonna hate their children with crazy hostility. Killing them. Now, did the serpent go and just birth children?
No.
What did he do?
Claim the nation.
He claimed the nation. And that nation, let's go to Psalms 83 to show you that.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to show you what it means to be a child of House of Ton. Because his children do his work. They steal, they kill, and they destroy. They ain't hard to find. Read that Psalms 83. Let me show you. They ain't hard to find. Read that. Psalms 83. Now watch this. Because it ain't just about bloodline, but it's about covenants that make you bloodline. We got to remember, it ain't about who you came out of. Because a closer covenant is when a blood covenant is joined together and it make you deeper than just coming out the same womb. Yeah. So when I make a blood covenant with somebody, I become what they are. Because now the two people become what? One. That's why marriage is not just a covenant, but it's a blood covenant. The two have become what? One flesh. And the covenant just ain't made with them, but their generations. So when whatever this nation is, when you make a covenant with it, then you're considered to the Most High the children of Hasatan.
Yeah.
So that's the nation that he chose. Read Psalms 83.
Keep not thy silence, O Elohim.
Y'all paying attention. Keep going.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thy what?
Thy enemies make a tumult.
Now watch this. If I'm enemies of the Most High, am I going to put all my power to try to come at him?
No.
What I'm going to do?
Go for his people.
Why I ain't going to come at him?
Because I can't help him.
Right. He going to push your head. But if I entice his children to break the covenant and keep them in everlasting servitude to me. Because when I found out I can't just curse them, but I can cause them to curse themselves. And that's why every nation that rose to be in power, they went and got us and put us in captivity to them.
Facts.
From Assyria, who was there? Us. Babylon, who they came and got? Us. Persian, who they came and got? Greek, who they came and got?
Us.
Roman, where Yahushua was with, who they came and got?
Us. Still got
America, who they came and got?
us.
Because they know that they would be able to rule and gain power. When you put us in servitude against our Elohim, it empowers you to rule over us. This is why they ain't go in Africa looking for everybody. They knew what seed we was from, and they said, we got to get them, cause them to curse their Elohim. Then we can rule with not regard of the Most High now. Yeah. He empowers us. Because when they break the covenant, he said what? I'm going to send forth a nation that neither you or your fathers have known. They don't give regard of the young, neither of the old. And they said, I'm going to be that nation. These people follow scripture, man.
Yeah.
They knew if we get you to break that covenant, we can be the nation that rule over you. And we be the head and y'all be the tail.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying. Psalms 83.
says, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against our people.
They sit down behind closed doors and see how much more we can destroy these people. Let's have a meeting and have a council at the table to see how we can deceive them some more. Keep going.
And consulted against our hidden ones.
And consulted against our hidden ones.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They said, do what?
Come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let me see if you're paying attention. What ways did they cut off from being a nation? That what? Read the rest.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Help me out.
Changed our name.
Changed our name. Changed our identity. Took our identity out of the earth. Took our culture. That's why this last captivity, they was like, we ain't taking no chances.
Yeah.
You look at all the other ones, we was able to keep our names. We understood what our name was. It wasn't just, the Greeks is what really came in and destroyed them. But when we got over here, they said, we're going to make sure we cut them off for being a nation completely. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep going.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So these group of people, these nations have come together in one consent. What they say?
The tabernacles of Edom.
Wait a minute. So we just thank Esau.
Yeah.
But what did it say? It ain't just say Esau. It says the what of Esau?
The tabernacle.
The what of Esau?
The tabernacle.
The tabernacle represents the house. So whoever come in Esau and come a part of this house is considered now Esau in prophecy. And you looking for a color. And it's about a blood covenant. So you got people that look just like me and you, that's Esau to the Most High. That could be sitting right amongst you. And you looking at the wrong people. Looking for Esau based off of color, when it's based off of blood covenant that they made with Esau. Keep going.
The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
Let's see who is in this tabernacle. Ishmael.
Of Moab.
Why are the Ishmaelites mad?
Because
they got kicked out.
They got what?
They got kicked out.
He was the firstborn. He mad. Ishmael children mad at us too. Let's keep going.
Of Moab and of the Hagarenes.
Why the Hagarenes mad at us? What we did with their mama?
Hagar, they kicked her out.
Everybody mad with you, ain't it?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Gebel and Ammon and Amalek.
Oh goodness, Amalek Amalek is wicked. But keep going. Let me hurry up. I'm on something.
Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, and to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. So
we see, that's good. We see that it's just the seed of Hasatan is those that make a blood covenant with him. Right? Let's look at what this hatred looks like. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Yahuwah shall bring a nation against you from afar away, from the end of the earth, swooping down like an eagle. Didn't they come from far away? One day emblem of what?
Eagle.
A nation whose language you would not do what?
Understand.
And had a heart or was fierce nation who shall not respect the what? Or what? This is the hatred throughout the centuries. Leviticus 26 and 17. And I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your what?
Enemies.
You shall be slain before your what?
Enemies.
And they that do what?
Hate you.
Shall do what?
Reign over you.
Shall make even your rulers. The enmity. Let's look at this. John 8 and 44. Ye are of your father, the devil. And now this is how you know who his children is. The lust of your fathers will you do. He was a what?
Murderer.
So Hasatan children will be known for murdering, premeditated killing. Finding ways I'm going to destroy you, your house, and your lineage. From the beginning. Bold not in the truth. Because there is no what?
Truth in him.
So how we keep believing in America and we know that their father is Hasatan?
Because we destroy it for a lack of knowledge.
Because we destroy it for a lack of knowledge. This nation is built off lies and what? Deception.
Yeah.
It's built off the murder of who?
Our people, our ancestors.
We're trying to find out who the children are. When speaking a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of what? The thief, John 10. The thief cometh only to do what?
Steal, kill, and destroy.
Now you got to look and see what the nations that are just stealing, just killing, and destroying. I'm going to come to your land and put a flag up and say it's mine. I don't care how long you've been there.
Under the name of Jesus.
Under the name of Jesus. 1 John 3:10. And this, the children of God is made what? And the children of who?
The devil.
Whosoever do not what?
Righteousness.
Is not of who?
Elohim.
Neither he that love what?
Not his brother.
So we're seeing the enmity between the offsprings right here, right? Y'all see that? He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his what? What does that mean? He gonna do what?
It's just so hard it's gonna hurt himself.
I ain't never heard it like that, but okay. Good way to put it. Okay. But he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his head. So we're going to bruise the head of the serpent. He's going to bruise our heel. Let's look at what that means. We're talking about the fall. What is the heel in Hebrew? Strong's Aqua. It means the hinder part, the rear of a troop, the rear of an army, the last liar in wait. So Hasatan is something that he's going to develop in the last days. That's going to be like an ambush against the Most High children. And rear of an army or a troop. Now, why wouldn't he face us head up?
Because he can't win.
Because he can't win. So what is it saying that he's going to rear, come behind us?
Yeah.
What does that represent? Because we ain't seeing back there.
Yeah.
Deception?
Sabotage.
Sabotage. So he got a complete system that's going to sabotage the Most High children in the last days. This is why it talks about, why I always say, you ain't looking for a deception to come. You was born into the deception. You see what I'm saying? He set it up before you was even born. So this is why we got to go through the lies in order to get to the truth. Because he came what? Behind us, ambushed us, and had us thinking we Gentiles. Have us serving everybody. It says that I seen princes walking their slaves and slaves on horses. But that's the ambush in the last day. It was prophesied in Genesis. We didn't see it like that. That he was going to come behind and he was going to smash us in the last day at the end, right? But watch what's going, the prophecy of the head. We going to recover. Somebody say recover. Recover. Bruise your head, strongs with rash. It means the head, the top, the summit, the upper part, the chief, the total, the sum, the height, the chief. So that means when we come back to our fullness, I don't care what principality is ruling, we're going to confront it and bring it down.
Hallelujah.
His chief generals. Ain't no going behind with us. We're going to come back and confront it head on. And what? Bruise or bust his what? This is why it's important for us to come all the way back to the truth. This is why it's important for us to be praying, because you're developing yourself and developing who you are spiritually. This is how you can confront things in the spirit realm. A lot of times we try to handle everything in the natural and wonder why we can't get no ground. Your house is in the array because what? You're trying to talk it out rather than taking authority of the principality that's ruling in there. Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen if the Most High tell you to get in front of Kemp and tell Kemp, If you don't let the Most High people go, we're going to burn Atlanta alive. Just myself. See how quiet y'all got? Y'all ain't ready for no real warfare. Y'all know Judah. Judah went and told Joseph, if you don't let my brother go, I'm going to burn this city down myself. Y'all look at us and like, well, why y'all so weak? Y'all know what stock y'all come from? Y'all sitting there marching by an oppression when you got spiritual power in your covenant to go down and shut cities down, that can command the sun, that can call down fire from heaven. You just been domesticated that this don't even sound real to you. So you sit there and take stuff rather than handling it in the ruach. When we gonna get to the point where we're ready to confront the principalities? The chief, we ain't bruised no head yet. Our heel is bleeding. We hurting. But ain't nobody stood up and say, I'm gonna confront the principality of white supremacy. I'm gonna confront the principality of racism. What are they gonna tell you if he tell you to go to Washington and declare judgment upon it? Stand in the middle of the street and see what I'm talking about. See how y'all looking at me? We so used to coming in here doing this. Yahuwah Shalom!
Do it, Mosai.
Do it, Mosai. Bring them down.
We got to do it.
But he trying to put something in us to confront rulers. Well, we ain't got no fear in our heart. That I ain't scared of what gonna happen to me. Because I died when I came back to the covenant. And if I do die, the die is gain. Because then I'll receive my promises. We got to get to the point where we are ready to face chief principalities, official. It don't matter what get put in my face. We ain't taking this no more. And we ain't marching down no street talking about no Black Lives Matter. That ain't doing nothing. When we going to bruise their head? That what was prophesied, that there'll be a generation that awakened to that through the war of the offspring. I tell you what, don't worry about it. Just keep on looking at me. Y'all gonna see me down on Broad Street, calling some down.
Loosen and bind.
Loosen and bind. Calling heaven and earth. Telling the Savannah River, depart. But it ain't gonna happen if you ain't building your ruach. If you sitting there wasting time watching all these distractions of shows that they put in front of you, the have and have not, power, all these little silly shows that take away from you getting power. You think they scared of you? No, all I gotta do is put a distraction in front of you. I like basketball, but basketball can be a distraction. I like watching football, but football can be a distraction because it keep me away from getting power. Because in the end, how are we going to get out of this captivity if we keep doing the things that they want us to do? We ain't going to never get to the point where we bruise their head. I want the head, the top, the height of the stars, the chief head, the front, the beginning, the choice, the best, the division, the company, the band, the principal, the song. I want to confront that. Don't worry about it. What was y'all telling them in Genesis 3? I will put hatred between you and the woman, between the children of light and the children of darkness. He shall destroy or strike your chief heads, captains, governments, and you shall in the last day ambush his troops from behind and entice them to get out of the covenant. But this is where we got to be. Destroy the top chief, the heads, the captains, and the government. We know in the last day he coming with an ambush, but we got to be ready to confront it. We see that? Yeah. Let me show you what this confrontation means. Ezekiel 25. Thus saith Yahuwah, because Edom acted revengefully against the house of Judah, and grievously offended in taking vengeance on them. Therefore says Yahuwah, I will stretch out my hand against Edom, and cut off him from man and beast, and I will make it desolate from Teman and Dedan, and they shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of who?
My people.
By the hand of who?
My people.
By the hand of who?
My people.
And they shall do in Edom according to my what?
Anger.
According to my what?
Anger.
So we don't serve this Elohim, this God right here. He said, I'm going to use y'all. See how domesticated we've been? Us? Not us. I just want to sing. That's all I want to do. I just want to live my best life. I ain't that mad. According to my wrath, and they shall know my vengeance, declares Yahuwah. He said he's going to use his children to bring forth his anger. It's not just saying that.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
But what y'all going to do, stop, Edom. Edom, come here, give me a hug. Give me a hug, Edom. Because you ain't mean to kill us. Come here. He hug and pray for Edom. So Edom can feel better by killing us. And after a while, all of us going to be dead if we keep hugging.
You gotta love them.
You got to love them. And that ain't even what the scripture was talking about when it's talking about love your enemies. When you understand the perspective and what it was really saying. You ain't see Yahushua going around there loving on all the Romans that was killing them.
Come on now.
When he said, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do, he wasn't talking about the Romans, he was talking about his people. Because his people said, let his blood be on what? Us and our what? That's a whole nother Bible study. Isaiah 14. See, we ain't going to like this one. For Yahuwah will have mercy upon Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set him in their own land. And strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave into the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them in their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives. Who captives? They what?
Word.
And they shall rule over their what?
Oppressors.
They shall rule over their what?
Oppressors.
They shall rule over their what?
Oppressors.
Scripture talks about how some going to be resurrected to life, and some going to be resurrected to damnation.
Yeah.
How you going to rule over the oppressor that died way before you? Think about that.
That's heavy right there now.
Watch it now, because we missing what's going to happen. Some people, watch what I'm telling you. Some people going to be resurrected to life. Some people going to be resurrected to damnation. The people that was oppressed, that died on this land innocently, going to be resurrected to what?
Life.
They have to experience life here with the promises of the Most High. Because they died without the promise. They died in damnation. They died. You mean to tell me that the Most High going to send somebody to eternal damnation and they had no choice just to choose him? Every choice that they made was controlled, and they was killed and beat, and you think that they're going to die and then get sent to eternal hell when they accept the punishment of their iniquity. Accepted it and said, this is our plight. He's going to raise down to eternal life. But it's some that was died being oppressors that he's going to raise to eternal damnation. And they that oppressors that rule over them, they're going to rule over their oppressors. Because what you sowed in the earth, you got to do what? What you sowed in the earth, you got to do what? What you sowed in the earth, you got to do what? So as some people going to get a worse oppression than we got. See how quiet y'all is? That's what the book, they got to be resurrected because they dead. You think you going to die and get away? No! That's why Thomas Jefferson would say, I'm afraid to meet the maker. God, how he going to judge? All them got to come back and be in natural oppression, then get sent to eternal damnation.
All right.
I do a teaching on it, but they got to get it. Ain't this what the book say?
Yeah.
See how quiet y'all live. Nuh-uh, not my friend. right, whatever. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Most High will give them rest from their sorrow and from their fear and from their hard bondage wherein they was made to what?
Serve.
That they was made to what?
Serve.
That they was made to what?
Serve.
As we get closer to the kingdom, all of us ain't going to be made to serve. So who is he talking about? He's talking about somebody that's going to get resurrected. That thou shalt take up a proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor what?
Seed.
How have the oppressors what?
Seed.
And the golden city what?
Seed.
Somebody going in there to take it. Take about what?
Thorns.
All of it. Y'all don't even like this message. And Yahuwah have broken. Look at this. Yahuwah have broken the what? Of the what? And the scepter of what?
The ruler.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous what?
Stroke.
He that ruled the nations in what?
Anger.
And is persecuted. And none did what?
Hindrance.
The whole earth is at rest now and is quiet. And now the earth can break forth into what? Because the oppressor has did what? Ceased.
Yes.
I know this hard to see. I know y'all don't want nobody to go through what we went through. But the book say they got to be resurrected. All right. Y'all better, y'all make me want to stop. The way y'all looking at me now, y'all all right? I'm all right with that. Okay. All right. I done seen a whole lot of killing. I see a whole lot of destruction.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
And they didn't care at all. It's all right. Y'all gonna say I'm part of a camp now. Watch this. Watch this with the woman. And the woman, and unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy what?
Sorrow.
And thy what?
Conception.
What does that mean?
She gonna have pain giving birth.
All right, that's this verse. Pain and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. But he said, I'm going to multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. And then it said this. So what does this mean? Don't be scared. Go on out there. We out there now. Go on out there.
The women, we have power too. We have things that we're supposed to bring forth. We don't have issues not being able to do that.
Any other sister want to help out? That was good. Let's go in.
Well, I heard the next part is the pain and sorrow that thou shalt bring from children, but before that, a lot of them lose children. They lose.
Right.
So that brings sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That inward sorrow where you have lost children or you probably can't have children.
Right.
It's hard for you to even conceive.
Right.
So then you got that, and then you got that energy where you have lost so much, you have felt so much pain. And like Sister was saying, just our hands are supposed to do something. Or our lifestyle is supposed to represent something too.
Right.
So, like the Proverbs 31 woman. But even in that, it's like everything will be, a lot of things will be sorrowful for us. We hold pain. We can hold pain better than men can.
Right.
We hold weight, but we hold pain.
Right.
We can take in things that men can't.
Right.
It's like the sorrow of everything, the sorrow of family. Supposed to be family, where the husband's supposed to take his rightful place and the children's supposed to be in order. And the wife got a job that she has to do too, and that can't come and fall on us because we hold everything.
Right.
So it's like a deep sorrow where we're crying out because we don't know what to do or how to do it. We looking to want to know but can't know. So it's a lot that goes with sorrow, and then the conception part is it's just hard to grasp.
Yeah.
It's hard to grasp. Everything hard to grasp because if you look at it, look at what we're looking at. Look at the time that we're living in. So everything is hard to grasp for us. So we try to see, especially those women that have gone through things and they know pain when they do it.
Right.
So now you got the pain and now you got the sorrow of the pain, and we walk around every day and we holding the sorrow of the pain. But the Most High wants us to let go.
That's good. That's good. Y'all see that? And think about the enmity between the offspring. The enmity between Hasatan's children and Eve's children. And she got to sit there and watch her children go through these things. Get corrupted. See what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Genesis 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination and the thoughts of his heart was only continued. Can you imagine two things? You watching, you in the Garden of Eden, seeing everything perfect. Then you got to watch your seed, which is Cain, get corrupt all the way down. Now you got to look at the sorrow, because not only her, but the Most High looked at it and he said, it repented to him that he made, because he seen how corrupt. Deuteronomy 28 and 32, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people, and thy eyes shall look with fear, with longing for them all the days of thy life, and there shall be no what? Thy sorrow and thy conception. Conception, when you look at just the basic definition of conception, is an idea or a general notion. A woman's conception being multiplied, and every man will know what I mean. This is a woman's mind. It has 7 lanes in it. A man's mind, one of them. We got one trail. We the only car. But a woman's mind, because she's always thinking. But it says that her thinking or her ideas or even her worry would be multiplied. It'll be continuously. She'll be thinking about things that you ain't thinking about. She'll be up and down. And this is why it says in the next verse that what her desires shall be unto what? Her husband. Because he's going to help her what? Balance that. You see what I'm saying? Because even this can be good when you give the woman a vision. Now, she's going to show you all kind of stuff that you ain't never think about in order to get it done. But it talks about how her sorrow and her thinking of worry would be multiplied. We're seeing that. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and pain and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. Let's keep going. Thy desire shall be unto your husband, and he shall rule over you. Man, watch this. The woman's natural desire is to be with her husband. I'm going to say this to you. The woman's natural desire is to be with her husband. She really, really desires to be with you. And she really desires to be a helpmeet to you. What cripples that if she done been through a lot of things throughout the years and then she don't know how to trust what's in front of her, then she'll kick against that. But shall be unto thy husband, he shall rule over you. What rule mean? Rule don't mean that you're going to be busting her head and being king. Mashal, it means to water, blood, or chaos, that which is sustained. Shin means tooth, to consume a fire. And lamet, that's what the word mashal spells in Hebrew. Shepherd, guide, and teach. So the husband ruling his wife means he's going to sustain his wife. He's going to consume his wife and just be worried about how she's feeling, her emotional feelings, how she's thinking, and then he's going to shepherd, guide, and teach his wife. Men, say it with me. Say shepherd, guide, and teach. It's up to us to do that. We got that. We can bring them here all day, but that's why we do one Sabbath so you can do that. Because in the end, you got to present your family to the Most High. And he ain't going to be looking at me to be by y'all side like, yep. We did that right now, didn't we? I did all the teaching, and they did the amening. You got to present your family to them. We see that. All right, we almost finished. Genesis 3. Now watch this. Genesis 3 and 17. And unto Adam, now this don't make no sense to me. Unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. Why did he curse the ground? What did that mean? He said, cursed is the ground for thy sake. And sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns and thistles shall bring it forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Why did he curse them? Talk to me. Say it crazy, we out there.
They're going to be in slavery and they got to dig them thorns and thistles out the ground.
Say it again.
They're going to be in slavery and they got to dig those thorns and thistles and grounds, and that's how they get their food.
They're going to be in slavery and they got to dig the thorns and thistles. So you saying that the stuff that they're gonna go and have to do with the ground, basically is gonna be given to somebody else.
And it's part of their pain.
Part of their pain, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The earth, I don't know word for word, but the earth crying out because of our transgression. And what happened to the children of Israel?
Okay. The earth cried out. Now y'all going to the children of Israel, which is good. But I want to know why the ground is cursed.
Wasn't the garden even an oasis? Everything there, right?
Right, they had everything there. But the ground got cursed.
It was never supposed to inhabit blood.
It was never supposed to do what?
Take in blood.
Take in blood. That's good. So, what is the curse? We still using that, what we was taught. We still using, before I go to the next slide, I want you to think. We still looking at Adam had to work in the ground. But the ground was cursed for his sake. And thorns and thistles, he's going to have to fight with. Shall bring forth.
Does it have to do with dominion?
Okay. Good. What you got?
God was given dominion over the earth, right? So then if they're cursing it and the thorns and the thistles, in other words, they're bringing strife into his kingdom. Into Adam's kingdom, saying your kingdom will not be at peace. You're going to put these thorns in the
Yeah, you own it. You own for it. Now let's look.
There's an enemy in there.
There's an enemy in there now. Think about this before I go to the next page. What all came from the ground? Man, everything. So he was the first one to come out of the ground. So when the Bible speaks to us, it's speaking to us as what? The ground. So now, everything that comes out of the ground now is cursed. Let me show you. Y'all going with me? Genesis 2. Let me show you what all came out. And Yahuwah formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And Yahuwah planted the garden eastward and the Eden, that was he put the man. And out of the ground made he grow every tree that was pleasant to the sight, good for food, the tree of life, and also that was in the midst of the garden. And out of the ground the Most High formed every beast of the field, every fowl of the air, and brought forth them to Adam to see what he would name them. So the ground became corrupted with the same thing that corrupted you. So now the ground gonna be used for corruption. How has this ground here been corrupted? It's even talking about some future. Sin. But what was one of the sins that came and corrupted the ground? Us. Come on, y'all, think. What was the sin that happened after Adam that came and corrupted all flesh? Say it again. That's one of the curse on us. But he's talking about it's going to be something, because he's speaking future, that's going to corrupt this ground. that happened in Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6. The Malachim. Huh? The Malachim came and did what? The sons of Saul and did what? And it made every imagination what? And they corrupted man and mixed what? Orders. The ground was corrupted. Now they came down and not only made it, but they mixed seed. The book of Enoch. How was this ground? Oh, go ahead, young. All right, so he said that the ground, cursed be the ground, for thy sake. That means that everything, man came out of the ground. The animals came out of the ground. The trees came out of the ground. So it's a corruption that was going to even happen, even future, that was going to give it an ultimate corruption that the Most High was going to say, I got to flood the earth. Because all flesh is wet. All ground is wet. So when you read Genesis 6, you see what happened. And read the book of Enoch, you see what happened about the corruption. What did they do with the ground? Genetic engineering. GMO, that we got to even say that this stuff is organic, which it was supposed to be organic. That means it's just natural. Right. I'm going to give you some cocaine, heroin, weed. Corrupted what? The ground was going to be corrupted. For thy sake. It ain't all about him working. Everything that came out of it now has become what? Compromise. We see that?
Yeah.
What about the animals?
Same thing.
Give me some examples. Dinosaurs. But I thought they was here billions of years ago. Before mankind. Yeah, Job. Do you think you can write about what you can't, do you think you can imagine what you ain't never seen?
No.
All these mythologies of half man, half animal, we think that's just a lie. That somebody, you can't imagine something you ain't never seen. So something has been in the earth. When you look in Isaiah chapter 6, and it speaks about them seraphims and cherubims, what's in the heavens, all they was trying to do was create what they seen up there. It talks about how a cherubim have a face of an ox, a face of a lion, a face of a man with eyes in his wings. In the heavens, guarding the throne. Talking about the Most High out there sitting with fire coming out his bosom, sitting on wheels. Spinning. Y'all better go back and read what was in there because they came down to recreate that in themselves. They was trying to be gods. So out of the ground will be corrupted for what you didn't open up. We see that?
Yeah.
Anybody lost? So it's our chance to take back what? Dominion. I gotta keep going. This is Genesis 6. And it came to pass when man began to multiply on the face of the earth and the daughters of man was born unto him, the sons of God saw the what?
Daughters of man.
Who was named the sons of God in scriptures before Yahusha came?
The Malachim.
The Malachim, the angels. That was the only thing. The sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and that they took them wives of all which they chose. And Yahuwah said, my spirit shall not always strive for man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore them children, and the same became mighty men, and were old men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts. This is Eve's sorrow too. The Most High and Eve's sorrow. His heart was continuously evil, and it repented the Most High that he made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahuwah said, I will destroy man that I have created from the earth, both man and beast and creeping thing, and the fowls of the air. And he repented that he hath made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahuwah, and these are the generations of Noah, and then we can see that. Then at the end, all flesh came before me, but the earth was filled with what? Violence through down, and behold, I will destroy what? The ground. We see that. You have some, sis?
So you're talking about the sorrow again, and you're saying that it was the sorrow of Eve.
Uh-huh.
You said she was the mother of all. So we as women, did we take on some of the sorrow as well?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you that in a minute. The women of covenant.
Okay.
When of covenant, because when it talks about Eve was the mother of all things, we're gonna show you what it's really saying. All right. All right, thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee. We talked about the ground being corrupted, but the ground is going to bring forth thorns and thistles. Y'all talk to me. The ground is going to bring forth now.
Basically, men and women that are contrary to the will of the Most High.
Right. Now the ground is going to bring forth men and women that are contrary to the Most High. That's going to be after the children of light. Let's prove it. Y'all follow me?
Yeah.
Let me give you, I got to prove everything. From concept of man from the ground. Ecclesiastes 3:19. For that which befalleth the Son of Man befalleth beast, even one thing befalleth them as the one died, so died the other. Yea, they have one breath, so that a man have no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. All go into one place. All are of the what?
Yes.
And all turn to the what?
Yes, again.
Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the what?
Yes.
To the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High. Now thorns and thistles gonna be coming out this ground.
Yeah.
Let's prove it. Numbers 33:55. The ground shall produce oppressive men. We seeing it.
Yeah.
Numbers 33:55. But if you will not drive out the inhabitants of the land before you, then it shall come to pass that those that ye let remain there shall be pricks in your eyes, and what?
Thorns.
And shall do what?
Shall
Vex you in the land where you dwell. Joshua 23:13. Know for a certainty that Yahuwah your Elohim will no more drive them out in these nations before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, scourges in your side, and what?
Thorns.
In your eyes, until you perish from the good land. Judges 2:3. Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as what?
Thorns.
In your what?
Side.
And their God shall be a snare unto you. Proverbs 15:19. The way of the slothful man is the hedge of what?
Thorns.
But the way of the righteous man made plain. When Paul was talking about he had a thorn in his flesh, he was talking about a person.
Yeah.
We seeing this.
Yeah.
Of the ground. Go ahead, sis. No, we in here. We in the water now. You can't swim back to shore now. We're too far. Right. Yeah, because we tried to make something up. Paul had a sexual thing he couldn't get over. Paul had a sickness. Paul had one eye. Paul had a short leg. No. Paul named his thorns. He said, Alexander did me much harm. This and that person.
So it's like the parable when they talk about he came and sowed the wheat with the tares.
Right.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. They're the thorns. Who else had a hand? Somebody else had a hand? Somebody over here had a hand. But we seeing this.
Yes, sir.
That some people are going to be thorns in our side. We see that. All right, so it's the same thing. With Adam fall, it's the same thing like Israel. They both was given the land. Israel, the land of Israel, Adam, the Garden of Eden. Adam entered a covenant, Israel entered a covenant. The earth was involved in the covenant of Adam, and the earth was involved in the covenant of Israel. Adam was kicked out of the land, Israel was scattered. Adam, it told about oppression that we have in Israel went through oppression. It's the same paradigm. The ground shall produce for you an oppression. All right, so we see that. We almost done. Deuteronomy 30:19. I will call heaven and earth to record. Now this is important. I will call heaven and earth to record against you this day, and I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursing. Therefore choose life, for you and your seed may live. Deuteronomy 28. And thy heaven that is above thee shall be as brass, and the earth under thee shall be as iron. And Yahuwah shall make the rain of thy land thy power and thy dust, for heaven shall it come down to be upon thee until thou be destroyed. So we know that the earth was in the covenant that we made, right? But the earth is going to start doing something in the last day that's giving you signs that you are getting ready to bruise the serpent head. Hallelujah. That's why Yahushua said, how can you not, you can recognize the season, but you can't recognize the signs of my what? Coming. Something gonna start happening in the earth to let you know that the tables are turning. A tide is turning. Romans 8, let's prove it. For I reckon that the what? Suffering. I reckon that the what? Suffering. Of this present time is not what? Worthy. To be what? Compared. To the what? Glory. That shall be what? Revealed. That's a powerful scripture. Because the suffering is what? Great. But he didn't say it was going to be equal. This is what I bank on. He said it won't, you hear that? He said it won't even compare. He said what you're going through is nothing compared to what I got planned for you. That's why he said I ain't seen, ears ain't even been heard, the things that I have for those that what? Walk in my covenant, or those that I love, right? Eyes ain't seen, that means it's something that I'm going to recreate that the earth ain't seen yet. So you think I'm finna let sin keep me from that? You think I'm finna run into a heifer, have sex with somebody outside of my marriage and miss what can't be compared? You think I'm finna let some drugs of temporary feeling make me miss? You think I'm finna let bitterness and resentment? Because you ain't going in the kingdom with bitterness. You ain't going in that kingdom with resentment. You ain't going to that kingdom and you got hostility against your husband and hostility against your wife. You ain't going to that kingdom and you trying to control them. Some of us going to get right at that door and most of us, it's still in there. Who is you? That's right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the Son. For the creature was made subject to, the creature was made what? Subject. The creature was made what? Subject. To vanity, not willing to, but by reason of him have been subjected in the same hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage. So the ground shall be delivered from the curse of corruption into glorious what? Of the children of God. For we know that the whole earth groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. So the women are groaning and travailing in pain, and the earth is a woman that's groaning and travailing in pain. Because we are all what? Her children. We got that? And not only they, but ourselves also, which are the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves grown within ourselves, waiting on the adoption or the redemption of the body. We almost done. I got to go past that now. I don't want to keep y'all too long. Genesis 3:18. And thou shalt eat. It says that the thorns and thistles are going to be cursed, but then it gives another thing. Thou shalt eat the herb of the field. What is that saying? Some going to be cursed by you trying to get it, but then you're going to eat the herb of the field. Say it again, Mama. It's going to become prosperous. We missing this thing is prophesying. It said the ground going to be cursed for your sake. Thorn and thistles is going to be produced from it. But then it says you're going to eat the herb of the land. You're going to eat the herb. Y'all tell me what the herb is. The opposite of what? Give me a scripture. I'll help you out.
Every green, the earth is the Lord and the good.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, let me show you. Y'all write these down. This is what it means we're going to eat. Isaiah 35. Everybody put this in your back pocket. Isaiah 35. You need to get happy about something. Because the earth going to respond to you. I was going to show the video of Pastor Angelo he was showing in his backyard, and this is the true thing, he was showing in his backyard that he never had berries or planting anything in his backyard, period. And he said he'd been there 6 years. And he said he was praying to the Most High and asked the Most High for a sign of something. And he said he was out there cutting. He said he looked in the areas where it was just weeds. And he said berries started growing. Berries. And he said that the Most High gave him a revelation that he's going to cause a blossom even in the wilderness.
Hallelujah.
And I'm telling you, that is true. Because there's a place of something that I was looking for a sign, and I looked down, and there was berries there. Go ahead, Mother.
And I'm like, berries. I've seen, pear trees and peach trees, vines, berries.
Right.
And among all the weeds.
Among the weeds.
Down underneath there.
Around them thorns and thistles.
Yeah.
What was coming out?
Berries.
Berries. Fruit that will what? Remain. Isaiah 35. Y'all write this down. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be what?
Glad.
Glad for them. So the earth gonna respond to you. And the desert shall do what?
Rejoice.
And the blossom is the what?
Rose.
It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given to it, and the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of Yahuwah and the excellency of our God. Then, when it tell you, when you start seeing the blossom, when you start seeing the fruit, I don't care how much killing you start seeing, start looking at the earth.
Hallelujah.
Because the earth is responding to you more than anything right now. It says, when you see this, strengthen ye you weak hands. Confirm you feeble knees.
Hallelujah.
Say to them that are fearful heart, be strong and fear not.
Hallelujah.
Behold, your Elohim will come with vengeance.
Yes. Hallelujah.
When the earth start responding, they give you signs that your redemption is at hand. Even the Most High will recompense. He will come and do what?
Save you.
I don't care what I see on TV. The earth gonna show me that he coming to save me. I'm gonna start looking more at the earth than Facebook videos.
Man, boy, I got a testimony for that, boy.
Go ahead. Let me
I got you.
Then the eyes of the blind shall be what?
Open.
That's the next thing that's coming. Miracles. Divine miracle. He said, watch the earth, because when it begin to blossom, your redemption is now. Then the next level, then the eyes of the blind shall be open. And the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. What is happening right now? We realizing who we are.
Yeah.
We was blind to ourselves. Now our ear is open. Then shall the lame man leap with heart, and the tongue of the dumb shall sing. For in the wilderness shall water break forth in streams and deserts.
Hallelujah.
And the parched ground shall be like a pool, and the thirsty land like the springs of water. And the habitation of dragons which ye shall lay shall be as grass with reeds and rushes. And the highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of what?
Holiness.
The way of what?
Holiness.
The way of what?
Holiness.
And the unclean shall not pass over.
Hallelujah.
So this is the time right now to get deliverance. Don't hold in them old hurts. I don't care what that man did to you, what that woman did to you. You got to let it go. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those, the wayfarer men, though fools shall not enter in the air thereof. No lion shall be there. Any ravenous beast shall go up therein. It shall not be found there. But the redeemed shall walk through there. Hallelujah. And the ransom of Yahuwah shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. And they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away from them. Go ahead.
Oh, the testimony I had. So we moved down here this last week on Wednesday. And basically, on the way down, it was raining, and our truck, our Husbandry truck, got stuck in like a little ditch on the side of the road. So we were stuck in the mud, and I was trying to figure out a way to like get us out of get the truck out. So I was going and grabbing sticks and all that, and trying to put them under the tires to create some traction, but it wasn't working. So I kid y'all not, I started praying in the car with my wife. She can validate this. And I was like, Father, I command the earth beneath me. I command the ground beneath me.
Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying? To give traction for this truck to move. So check out what happened. The ground didn't get solid. But he said, you know what I'm saying, this white guy over in the truck, I'm telling you, I get back out the car, I look up, his truck parked right there. This man say to me, my mama live 5 minutes down the road, I got a rope, I can come back and pull y'all out. So this man come back, hook us up. By that time, Moray done pulled up, Imam and Gozi pulled up, you know what I'm saying, and some of the other brothers hook us up and pull us right out like that, what, 5 seconds later.
Hallelujah.
Like you witnessed it, didn't you?
Right, I sure did.
And like he said, speaking to that ground represents man. You
that's
know
right.
What I'm saying? Like,
man, that's good. Boy, that's good right there, man. That's good. He spoke to the earth and the earth produced.
Hallelujah.
Did y'all get that? He was trying to till the ground, but he spoke to what was in the ground and what came out of the ground, and then the ground came in him. So y'all think people crazy, but this stuff is real. Ezekiel 36. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus said Yahuwah, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and my fear, because they have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore said Yahuwah, I have lifted up my hand, and surely the heathen that are round about you, they shall bear their shame. But ye, O mountains of Israel, you shall shoot forth your branches, and you shall yield your fruit on my people Israel, for they are at hand to come. For behold, I am for you, and I will turn unto you, and you shall be what? And what?
Sown.
You shall be what?
Tilled.
And what?
Sown.
And I will multiply men upon you. I'll multiply men where?
Upon you.
Where?
Upon you.
So that means you're what?
Inhabit the earth.
Right. That means you're ground. And it's going to multiply men upon your ground that's going to till and sow into you.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
This is why now you as the ground going to be taken care of.
Hallelujah.
They're going to come dig into you and put jewels and put fruit and put seed in you and come till your ground, because you've been tilling everybody else's ground. Now it's your turn to be tilled.
Hallelujah.
And to be washed after and to be taken care of.
Hallelujah.
Y'all see what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
Y'all see how y'all take care of them plants out there?
Yeah.
Somebody gonna do you like that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Somebody gonna do you like that. It's your turn to be watered.
Praise God. Praise God.
Verse 11, I will multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit, and I will settle you after your old estates, and I will do you better than your beginnings, and you shall know that I'm Yahuwah. Boy, that's huge there. He said, I'm going to do you better than your beginnings. Boy, if y'all realize what King David had, I will cause men to do what?
Walk upon you.
To do what?
Walk upon you.
And even my people Israel, and they shall possess thee, and thou shalt be their inheritance, and thou shalt no more henceforth bereave them of men. Let's keep going. Thus saith Yahuwah, in that day I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities. This is why we need to be cleansing. And cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste cities be built, and the desolate land shall be what? The desolate land shall be what?
Tilled.
Whereas it laid desolate in the sight of all that did what? And they shall say, this land was desolate. Watch this. This land was desolate and has become back like what? Now the curse is lifted.
Hallelujah.
And it's going back to how Adam was before he fell.
Hallelujah.
Now the earth, all that passed by, everybody ain't coming, but they'll be look over there.
Yeah.
Would be like the Garden of Eden, and the waste and desolate and ruined cities shall become what?
Things
and what?
Are inhabited.
Then the heathen that are left around about you shall know that I am Yahuwah, that build the ruined places. And I plant that which was what?
Desolate.
And I, Yahuwah, have spoken it, and I will do what?
Do it.
Thus saith Yahuwah, I have yet this to be acquired of you, house of Israel, to do it for them. I will increase them like men.
Hallelujah.
I will increase with men like a flock.
Hallelujah.
So y'all, just as we became desolate, we're going to be increased. Last one right here. Genesis 3:19. We going down the list of the fall. Y'all seeing us going down the list of the fall. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread. Thou shalt return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken. For thus thou art, and thus thou shalt return. What did that mean?
Well, the bread can be considered the word.
Huh?
I said the bread can be considered the word.
Okay.
Or the testimony.
All right. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat the bread. Okay, I see what you're saying. Because that's the only thing going to be able to sustain us while we're going through that. I ain't look at it like that, but that's a good point. That's a real good point. Till thy return, that's good. That's going to sustain you till you return to the ground.
Yeah, that's my shit.
You messed me up there. Hey, that's good right there. All right, so in the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat of thy bread till thou return into the ground, for out of it was thou taken out of thy return. Now notice that he said, man came on the depths of the ground, and I breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. What made man living was the breath of life.
Exactly.
Right?
Hallelujah.
But when a man get the breath of life taken away from him, I'm going to get to you. Watch this. When a man get the breath of life taken away from him, I want to say he's still living, but he has the breath of life taken away from him. What does that mean? He's still, don't think dead now. I'm trying to put your mind somewhere else. He got the breath of life taken away from him, but he's still living. Okay, walking in sin? Huh? Curse? Y'all thinking real deep. Don't think deep. The sweat, all this man doing now in life, sweat of thy face until thou return to the ground. All of it was taken from dust thou came, from dust thou return. No, you there. You there.
Okay. So living,
you just existing. You have no life, you have no purpose, you don't have an assignment to wake up to. And we find ourselves in that cycle. You'll get older and older, and all you're doing is this right here. You born, you go to school, you get a degree, you run after the best jobs you can get. No spirit now, no seeking after the Most High. You get old, you get in a wheelchair, you die and be in the grave. And this how it be. You just going in a cycle. You ain't living life with no purpose, and you think that your purpose of your life purpose is just to find a job. Your life purpose is just to go to school. I got degrees and ain't doing nothing with them.
Say it again, more.
Got degrees, they just sitting there. I tried now, ain't on me, I ain't tried. I did all this right here and got this degree. I said, wait. I ain't living. I'm not living. You see what I'm saying? It should be more to your life than getting up, going to work, going to school, going back home, getting something to eat, and go to sleep. And that's your continuous cycle. And you'll get older and older in the same cycle because you ain't got the breath of life that's breathing you yet, which is the Holy Ruach. That when the Ruach come, it gonna turn all that. All that you thought you supposed to do, all that you thought you supposed to do right there, it gonna shift it. You gonna be like, man, I wasted all that time. Yeah, right. But it's important to get out of that cycle because it said, dust you came from and dust you'll return. And that'll be a continued cycle. The sweat of your brow, you'll just keep working, but working for nothing because in the end, you ain't getting no crown in the kingdom. Because that's the work that's going to be tried, not the job. You had some sense. Y'all understand that? That's why Ecclesiastes say, vanity, all is vanity. What does man gain? All the toil which he did under the sun. A generation goes and a generation comes, but the earth remains forever. That's why it says the whole end of the matter is to keep the Most High laws and his commandments.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sis.
I don't have much, but it was just a few times back. I was reading the scripture you were reading.
Okay. Which one was it? Right now?
No, back, right today.
Ezekiel 36, starting at verse 6. Ezekiel 36, starting at verse 6. And I went down to verse 37. Why did 6 to 12 then jump to 33 through 37? Y'all got it? All right. So we see that. All right, this is the last thing. We don't want to get caught up in this cycle. We want the breath of life. That's why you need the Ruach HaKodesh. You need to be filled with it so you can start living. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got them and you're still living like this, it's easy to get caught up in this. Especially as men. Because I'm telling you, I was here. But you have to go back up and reconstruct things to make sure you're keeping the Most High first. We see that? Because let me say this too, because you got to say everything. The other side of that is to say, extreme to say, I ain't getting no job. Most High called me to just pray. And I never come tell me that. I ain't got to get no work. I ain't got to get nothing like that. It's people like that, man. I had a dude come through here saying that. He said, man, I'm like Abraham. I'm a nomad. Most High told me to go, I go. I be like, well, bro, you got somewhere to stay? Well, no, I'm going to stay with them over there. Like, no, wait, man. Now, how you staying with somebody, but he told you to go and you inconveniencing other people? All right, so let's keep going. All right, last slide. Last one. Genesis 3:20. The man called his wife named Eve because she was the mother of all living things. What does that mean that we done? The mother of all living things. Was she the mother of all living things?
No.
Why?
Because before Genesis 3 and Genesis 2, he created man and woman. Outside of the garden.
Okay, that's a good point. What about after her? Was she the mother of all living things? There's no wrong answer, y'all. Galatians 4:26, but Jerusalem which above is free, which is the mother of us what? Is that the mother of us all of? That's just saying symbolically. All right. So let's see what it's saying. Eve name in Hebrew is Shavah. Shavah. That's the chet, where you get your CH from. The Vav, where you get your V from. And the Hey, which you get your He from. Shavah, which means, Shet means fence. Vav means secure. Hey means revelation. I'm going to show you who the mother she is. Shavah will be the fence or birthing channel that will secure the ones who hold the revelation. She is the mother of the ones that will be redeemed.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Not everybody mother. This is why it says her offspring shall bruise the head of the serpent. So her very name shall be through her channel. She shall birth out the ones that secure and holds the revelation. Those that are redeemed shall be Shavah's children. All right? Genesis 3:21. That's what we'll pick up next week. And to Adam also and to his wife did Yahuwah make coats of skin and clothe them. We'll see why he did that. And Yahuwah said, behold, the man has become like one of us to know good and evil. And now let's both we put his hand and take up the tree of life and eat it and live forever. Therefore Yahuwah sent forth the garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man and he placed him at the east of the garden of Eden of cherubims, and the flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So we're going to hit those areas. Why the coats of skins, why they couldn't eat of the tree of life, what the tree of life was, why it only say that the man was driven out and taken out. And then we'll see what it really meant when it says that Eve was made out of the side of Adam, or made out of his rib, his bone. And why he said bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. What he was really saying. Okay? Any questions on this one? You ever wonder, like, why, if he made the earth, what he need a garden of Eden for? What was the point of that? If Adam was immortal, why he got a tree of life? Why they couldn't touch the tree of life when they so-called died? It was over there. All they had to do was run over there and touch the tree. Could have stopped a whole lot of this. Why they had to have skins of coat? How did they handle the death part? But then what did they use to handle the sin? And if you take the tree of life away, do a species become endangered to the point they almost extinct? And what keeps them from being extinct? Any questions? Somebody got a question. I ain't gonna answer long. Y'all like, man, please don't ask no question. Everybody good? Was this clear? Was it easy? Well, kind of good to understand? Do you see it a little better now? Does it make a little bit more sense? All right. Was it edifying? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. So next week we going, Terry. And then we're going to go all the way back after next week to the beginning of when it said, in the beginning. What that meant. And God created the light. And what that light was in the beginning. If the sun and the moon was on the fourth day. And then what is the sun and the moon then? I'm going to mess you up now. I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to go a whole different way now. But it is that too. Yeah, we're going to dig into that, what that is in the beginning. And what was the sun that ruled by day and the moon that ruled by night? We're looking at just stars and elements rather than dimensions and beings. That was the sun and beings that was the lesser light, that was the moon, that ruled the darkness. All right, so we praise the Most High for everybody, that listen. What we bringing for, please, y'all, these weeks, pay attention to these messages. Go back if you ain't looked at Josh's lesson. Pay attention to Josh's lesson last week. It's real good because me and him gonna kind of be like chopping. Yeah, it's gonna be chopping. He brought out something cold last week as far as with the man and the woman and the war that was going on and how that woman was right by his side warring. It was good. And I'm gonna kind of add to that when I show you the fight that was going on in the beginning all the way down. That's what Genesis is talking about. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.